Mhm. Yes, it's so much warmer in the break room.
Here we go. You ready? All right. Ms. Stafford, I'm John Kirtley. I'm the director of the Board of Pharmacy. I'm going to tell you who all you're talking to and a few things about our procedure this afternoon. First of all, on this side of the table, to your right, my left, the four people you see are all pharmacy board members that are decision makers here today. We've got Dr. Clint Boone, Dr. Lenore Newsom, who's the chair of this informal conference, Dr. Brian Jolly, who is our current president of the board, and Dr. Rodney Richmond. On the other side of the table, we have those of us that are, I had turned them off earlier, that are staff members. Turn it on. There goes. It's on. My apologies. Dr. Brenda McCready, who's our assistant director, Miss Ashley Bells, who's our legal counsel. We're here today about your pharmacy technician application, and you didn't tell us anything would come back on it, but we did find something that the board members want to talk to you about in a moment. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Bales to give a brief description of what we found, and then they'll discuss it with you. But at the end of it, they're going to come up with some suggestion for decision. It could be to approve your application, deny your application, say, we're not going to make a decision right now. We'll come back at some future date, or who knows what they're going to come up with. The important thing is you can either agree or disagree with it. You agree with it, we go forth with whatever they've asked us to do. And if you disagree, at that point, you can either say, forget this, walk away from it, or request a hearing before the full board at a later date.
Okay.
So my two main questions to you, do you know why you're here today?
Yes, I do.
Do you have any questions about how this works?
No, I'm
okay.
fine.
At any point during this, if you do have a question about how it works or anything that's going on, raise your hand, get our attention, ask us any questions you have. I realize you've never been in front of this board, so this is not something you've done before, and we want to help answer any questions that you have.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Bales?
All right, we brought Ms. Stafford in for the informal conference today, based on something that came back on her criminal background check. There's one arrest from October 17, 2012. She's arrested and charged with misdemeanor theft of property, was sentenced to 1 year probation, court costs, and fines. Her record is now sealed, so indicates she's complied with all the court orders, but she did not disclose that arrest on her application.
Okay. You want to tell us what was going on that day?
Well, first I want to say that I did put in a statement, and I wrote out and got notarized what happened, and I did send that in with my application. Also, I just wanted to say, that day, that was a completely different person from who I am today. That was, I think, 11 years ago. 18 years old, young and dumb, I would say, made a stupid decision once. But since then, going to court and through probation and stuff, I've completely changed my outlook on that and my morals, and had a hard look at myself that day. Going forward, that has never happened again, and it never would. Completely changed who I am.
Okay. So what has life been since that time? What have you been doing with your life?
I'm a server, waitressing. I've been doing that for the last 11 years. Since I was 18, that's what I do, work in restaurants. I went to culinary school, and I've cooked a little bit and stuff like that. I just realized that, serving wouldn't last forever, and I wanted to change my career path and try to do something a little bit more professional and, go from there. And this is something I looked into and I really thought would be a great fit for me.
So you had thought about pharmacy, or did someone tell you about pharmacy?
No, it's something I came up with on my own. I know that I couldn't work in the health field because I'm a little bit scared of blood or a little bit squeamish. But I knew this was a path I could take because it's got a lot of growth in it and security in the job. Also, it was something I could do based on what, the day-to-day life of a pharmacy technician is, what they do and stuff is kind of similar to what I do now in a way, working on your feet and doing multiple things at once, having to memorize things is something I'm very good at. And I just really thought about the job security of it.
And it's still a service job.
And it
You'll
is a
still be
service.
taking care of people and taking care of their needs. So it's almost like those two jobs kind of parallel each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yes, sir.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions of this young lady?
Why did you not disclose it on the application?
I did send in a statement and, my record and, I notarized my statement. And I did send it in with my application.
That was after the fact though, right? So when you originally sent your application and you checked that you had never been charged, cited, arrested for, or convicted of.
Okay, if I did that, I did not mean to. I think that, when I was looking through it, since it was sealed, I didn't know that it was necessary, I guess. But after I called the state board, they said definitely put that on there. So I went ahead and wrote out my statement and notarized it. I think that may have been what happened.
Just so you know, there's a separate question that's immediately below that. That says, have you ever had a record expired? So there were two different questions.
Okay. I definitely meant to put yes. If I put no, I didn't mean to. It's not something I'm trying to be dishonest about because it's something that I've completely changed in my life. It's not who I am today. And if I put no, it must have been a mistake or something I wasn't, looking correctly at, I guess.
I think if you look at the dates, I think she turned them in at the same time because the application was received on September 22nd and the statement was signed on the 21st.
Okay.
So she answered no, but it all came together, I guess.
I think she called the board and talked to Christy, and she said, if you have it, go ahead and do your statement and send it all in with the application.
Okay,
Normally that doesn't happen, but it did happen this time.
okay, good.
You seem to have a really good disposition for customer service. Yeah, I think your past experience in, working in a restaurant will lend itself well to dealing with customers in a pharmacy. So, I mean, this was, over 10 years ago. I'll make a motion to approve her application.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The motion passes. You'll get your license today. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good luck.
How are you today?
Hello, doing good.
Good afternoon, Ms. Hunt. I'm John Kirtley. I'm the director of the board. I'm going to tell you who all you're speaking with this afternoon, I should say, and a couple things about our procedure. On this side of the table, we're all staff members here at the board. Myself, Dr. Brenda McCready is our assistant director. Ms. Bales is our attorney here on staff of the board. On the other side of the table, we have 4 of our pharmacy board members that are decision makers here today on your application. Dr. Clint Boone, Dr. Lenore Newsom, who's the chair of this committee, Dr. Brian Jolly, who's our current president of the board, and Dr. Rodney Richmond. We're here today. You had submitted an application to be a pharmacy technician. You did not tell us anything would come back on your background check, but we did find something that they'll want to talk to you about in just a moment. What I'll do is I'll turn it over to Ms. Bales to tell them what we found, and then they'll talk to you about your application.
Okay.
At the end of whatever conversation you guys have, they're going to come up with some suggestion for action. They could suggest to approve your permit, deny your application, or say, well, we're going to table it at this time and not make a decision on it. But whatever they decide, you could either agree with or disagree with. If you agree with it, we go forth with whatever they instruct us to do as staff. If you disagree with it, you kind of have the choice to either say, forget this and walk away from it, or to request a hearing before the full board at a later date, which is we call it formal hearing. All 8 members of the board, hearing officer, court reporter, we swear everybody in as witnesses, and it's just a more formal procedure than what we're doing today.
Okay,
So I usually ask 2 things. Do you know why you're here today?
yes.
Do you have any questions about how this works?
Oh, no, just a little nervous.
I understand. Well, at any point in this, if you do have a question you want to ask us, wave your hands, get our attention. We want to help answer any questions you have, because I realize we do this all the time and you've never been here before. So
Okay, thanks.
that'll turn to Ms. Bales.
And we brought Ms. Hunt in for an informal conference today. Something did come up on her background check that she had not disclosed to us. It was an arrest for an battery in the 3rd degree. The arrest was made in April 18th of 2018. She did go to court on it. At the point where it was set for trial, the prosecutor decided to null pros the charge. So there's no conviction.
Okay. You want to tell us what happened there?
So basically, I was pregnant with my daughter. I was 21 and it was just a lot of baby daddy, baby mama drama. Like, it was his mama. She told him he couldn't be around me, that he was gonna have to get in paper, that when he could see his daughter, basically his mama didn't like me. So all of this is with my first baby daddy mama. She tried to press charges on me. Just a lot of drama, basically. She was getting into our relationship. She didn't want him with me. She said she didn't like me. Just a lot of that.
And have that been resolved?
Yes, I actually don't talk to her after that situation, and then I don't talk to my baby father. He's locked up for 25 years, so they don't see my daughter or deal with her at all.
So what have you been doing since then? You picked your stuff up and kept going?
Yes, ma'am. I ain't got into no more trouble. I feel like they dropped it because she was wrong, and God always knows best, but she was wrong, and she waited 30 days to after it happened to go try to press charges on me. And she charged me, and I was actually pregnant, but I haven't got into no trouble or anything.
What have you been doing work-wise?
So the last job I had was working at home, and I have 3 kids. That was my first child, but now I have 3 kids. So I really just be at home, and I did this to try to do something better for me and my kids.
So why pharmacy?
Well, they had called, I went to a school actually on 3rd Street around the corner, and they was just calling well, if you get food stamps, we're doing free classes, and they were saying CNA, and they said pharmacy technician. I was like, well, I didn't did CNA before. Try something different. Maybe I'll like it.
But you're not having to pay to go to school.
No, ma'am, I didn't have to pay. It was free.
And you've been trained to be a pharmacy technician already?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what was the name of this program?
ARECC school, 300 Spring Street.
So have you looked for any jobs or anything?
Yes, ma'am. I actually had a job in Jacksonville at Walgreens, but then that's when I found out I wouldn't get my pharmacy license yet, so I just put a pause on it till y'all accept it or deny me.
Anyone else have questions? So this is the last part you need, is just the link, the actual license.
Yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
get out there and get to working.
Have you looked for jobs?
Or just the one in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Jacksonville, because that's where is that where you live? Close to home?
Well, no, they actually, when we was in school, there was a few girls that applied for Jacksonville, and they was like, they started out at $20 an hour. I was like, $20. And when I went to the interview, the man was just like, they lied to y'all. We started out at $16. He was like, even the ones that's been here 2-3 years, still not making $20. But they said they got hired on and they started at 20. They just lied to the whole class. So everybody was like, oh, we're gonna apply for Jacksonville.
Did you get your PTCB certification through the program you went through?
Ooh, you saying like take the big test?
Uh-huh.
We haven't took it. No, I haven't took it. They don't offer that. They just do the class and then they say we can take the test if we want to. We don't have to.
Okay.
You said in Jacksonville, what, few of the schools, what company it was?
Walgreens.
Okay, some of these larger companies, if you have your certification, it's a pay raise.
Yeah, I know. That's my plan.
Okay.
Cause I think it was cause I was looking on Indeed and I think the VA, you got to have the test took and your certification. Some places won't hire you without you taking the test.
And if you get into VA, that's a federal job.
Yeah, and they make good money too. Might be there for some years.
I'd like to entertain a motion, man.
So the discussion, make a motion that we grant her a permit.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays? Motion passes. You'll get your license today.
Oh, thank y'all so
Do
much.
well, and you go on and pass that test.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
That'll put you in a much better spot.
It'll also make the job even more secure.
Mhm.
Then after that, they've got an advanced certification if you decide you want to do that. So just for what
Really?
it's worth. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. Thank y'all so much. I
Thank
was
you
so
very much.
scared I had butterflies. I was like, what if they deny me? Thank y'all. Y'all have a good
Okay,
day.
thank you, bye-bye.
The one from 9:30 today, do we expect them?
My understanding is they had originally said on email that yes, that they would want an informal, but I don't know. I'd have to ask Ms. Bales if they ever confirmed that they were actually coming today. What we generally do is the 9:30 that did not show up, we didn't have the sent note on them, like that they had sent a response.
No, I don't have a response from her.
9:30.
Latham.
Yeah.
And did disclose. And they've got a statement in there. Eight years ago.
Yeah.
it's one of those where we told them we were gonna have this today. It's up to you guys if you wanted to take any action to approve it or just say, let it be and see if they come back again. We'd scheduled for 9:30. My understanding is, I think they had said, yes, they wanted to participate in an informal, but I think when we sent them the time and date, we did not hear back.
That's correct.
If it's one of those like, if you wanted to just outright deny it, then it becomes an issue where it pushes them towards an appeal for a full board hearing. If you looked at it and, I mean, as we were discussing this morning, said with them having disclosed and given this explanation, you would just vote to approve it, then we've told them we were going to meet on it today. If you want to just let it sit, it'll expire in August and they could try to get on the schedule again.
Well, they were honest on their application.
Yeah.
It's 5 years ago. No, I'm sorry.
8 years ago.
8 years ago. Misdemeanor. I mean, just my opinion, I'd be okay with approving it.
Not second.
I'll take a vote on
Is
it.
that a motion?
Yep.
All in, any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Okay, motion passes.
Go ahead and dispense with Burns, too.
Kind of the same.
What?
Hers is a similar case.
Yeah, she's scheduled for 2:00 and she did indicate she'd be here.
Well, I could give her time just to show up then.
Yeah.
You know, sorry.
But it's even older.
Yeah.
Man, everybody likes to start with at Walmart.
And she told us it was gonna be there too.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Oh,
No,
Okay,
that's
you
been
got any
all.
of those other 15 cases we could look at?
Yes,
You have one?
I can get them.
All right.
Categorize them based on this
I,
stuff.
I think we can categorize a description of them without any specifics to the case. And you guys can say, you know, blinded to it, yeah, we want to see that, or I don't know.
You just roll through them without the names.
Without the names.
Okay. This applicant did disclose on her application. She's currently working at Walmart in Hope,
Oh, okay.
and she, had a DWI, first offense from February of 2010. And then a criminal contempt. She didn't make payments on that DWI timely. So they issued a warrant for contempt, but it looks like she's taking care of that at this point.
So it all revolves around the single incident.
Yes.
If she would have paid her fees and not had a contempt issue, then we would have automatically signed off.
motion. To approve.
Second.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion?
That's the
All in
one.
favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays?
Just pass
The
it
motion
back.
passes.
Otherwise we have to go back.
Motion or just a up down on whether it's okay for staff to administratively approve?
However you want to handle it.
Okay.
We're here.
Yeah.
Then initial the top page. Since you've approved it, you get to see who it is.
Still don't know.
I know. But it gets into this. If you told us, if it's minor, I'm far less concerned than you hit it, no matter what.
Big problem. Okay, here we go. All right, I've got another one. This person did disclose on his application that he had a previous arrest in 2008. April of 2008, he had a theft of property and a falsifying business records. And that was involving Hibbett Sports, which is sporting good company business. I get your statement. He was working at Hibbett Sports in Conway when he was 21 years old, and he falsified or fake returns of merchandise, and he kept the money.
How much?
He did 2 transactions. Don't have the dollar amount, but it's less than $500 according to the court record.
That was 2008.
That was 2008 when he was 21. He's now, according to his statement, he is 37.
He disclosed it.
He did
Yep, he told us.
disclose it.
Get it right.
So moved. Give him the permit.
Second.
A motion on the floor.
Did
Any
dis-
further, questions? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion passes.
Have a sealed conviction. You did not disclose it. Want to consider those? Today?
Yeah, because my thinking on those, if they didn't disclose it,
It's expunged technically.
or if it was expunged, even though the question is on there, was it expunged? I think, or even if it was no fraud, I mean, they may think, well, I never got charged with it.
And we're only thinking of minor offenses in that realm.
Yeah.
We're not talking about major.
Right.
Okay, so that being said, I have a theft of property from January of 2012. That's the only thing that comes back on the background. Did not disclose, but again, it has been sealed. So indicates they did everything they were supposed to do.
How much was it?
It's from Walmart. It's less than $1,000. Probably more, what, the statement says she stole makeup from Walmart.
I got
21. But it don't,
15, 2012,
2012.
not 2008.
Been only 20 years ago.
I'll move on that one as well and give them permit.
I'll second on
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
it.
Any nays? Motion passes.
You know, I almost don't blame them for marking the one, but when it asks you explicitly, have you ever had a record expunged, sealed, or whatever?
Catches it.
Like that's the one that I have a hard time with, because I understand the confusion. I mean, I think people sometimes think that because it's expunged, it never happened.
Well, and I'm sure there are attorneys that would tell you, if they ask if it's expunged, you can still say no, because if it was expunged, it didn't get expunged, it never existed. It's this weird catch-22 where there's the nuance. The nuance in it. Yeah,
My advice, I would have given anybody, because the question asks for citations and arrests. You'd say, if you've ever been convicted, I think you can clearly say no.
Right.
If you've been expunged, but we put that in there on purpose, I think. And then they, like you said, the expungement, if you've ever had a case expunged, catch that too. But some attorneys might tell them otherwise. Okay, so I have another theft of property. This one's from 1993.
Oh, that's like,
But they did not disclose.
30 years ago.
yeah,
Yep.
so moved.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, this one I had described earlier, it was, 31 years ago.
Yeah, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Any nays? Motion passes.
93 was a good year.
For the fake program.
West Virginia went undefeated. went
I
to
was
Super Bowl.
out of high school, but the Razorbacks were doing well in
The
basketball.
Razorbacks are doing really well.
Yeah, that when,
Yeah.
Burleson or Burlesworth was playing,
No,
he was later.
we're talking about basketball.
Basketball.
Basketball was good here.
Was it
Read that statement.
Lang,
talked about that.
Lang's, Houston Nut? Was he-
98 was his first year.
Yeah. Yeah. He was here over in pharmacy school.
Yep,
Well, that doesn't tell me anything.
98 to 2002.
Yep.
Okay.
Cedar Cobb,
Mhm.
Cotton Bowl.
Yep,
And
that Kentucky game here in Little Rock.
Two different, okay.
we played South Carolina and Lou Holtz was their coach.
It is.
And had really good seats on that one and you couldn't see him because he's so
Yes.
small, but you could hear him.
That game was in Little Rock.
It was at
wasn't it?
War Memorial,
Yeah. I was
You know who Holt was
thinking,
from?
Virginia.
Yep.
I figured that was a trick question.
No, not a trick at all.
you know where Nick Sagan's from?
West Virginia. Right outside of Marlington.
You know where Bear Bryant's from?
That's what the matter.
Texas, I would guess.
No, he's from Arkansas. Yeah.
They finally replaced that
Coach of all
sign.
time is not from West
That sign
Virginia.
faded and faded
Yeah.
and faded.
I said the greatest coach of all time is not from West Virginia, he's from Arkansas.
I don't know, how many championships did Bear Bryant bring compared to Saban?
Not as many, right? I think
Many.
Saban passed him, didn't he?
Failure to appear.
He's probably got 6, I think, doesn't
The thing about Bear Bryant is they barely had the telephone to help him recruit. It was hard. I mean, you think about back in that day, figuring out who good players were and trying to
You
get them
put
recruit,
DWI,
to
but-
recruit them. The head coach was the guy.
Court documents
There was
are
no
for
social
forever
media
suspended.
or press or anything.
he? What I'd really like to know is how much NIL money he walked around with in his pocket.
You don't ask questions like that. That's unknown.
It has
That
happened.
is unknown.
Well, I don't mean to disparage him, I'm talking in general.
It happened.
So Brian had 6
Did he?
between 61 and 79, so 18 years. Saban has 7
Seven.
in 2009 to 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, but how many teams he was with?
No, I'm sorry, he's got 6, I'm just counting. 09,
Not to do this one.
11, 12, 15, 17, 20.
And that's all Alabama.
Well, he had one at LSU too.
Yeah.
Is that in the count?
That's all Alabama.
Okay.
Stallings had 1. They claimed the 64 championship, but we all know they lost in the Orange Bowl that year. Arkansas was 11-0. So we got the Football Writers Association National Championship and we beat.
Doesn't they got it?
Yeah, I think so. Back then, they declared the national championship before the bowl games. So if it would have been 15 years later, it wouldn't have been Alabama. I mean, Natty's does West Virginia have?
You mean a rifle?
Football.
In football, no.
I didn't know if they had some from way back then or something.
In fact, purportedly, West Virginia is the winningest Division I football program without a national championship. We've got 12 rifle,
Yeah,
and we're playing Final Four tomorrow in soccer.
rifle, did you say rifle?
Rifle.
Oh,
What's funny is when we line up and beat Army,
Oh, man, it only counts if there's a ball involved, right? No, I'm kidding. Track and field,
yeah.
it only counts if if there's a ball or you have to run. You have to do something athletic.
Well, see, since West Virginia's mascot is a mountaineer and he has a real musket, then by extension, riflery counts.
I didn't even know there was a national championship.
Yeah. TCU has been up for.
I would like to see the basketball team get back to the championship.
I'd have to ask my attorney.
Okay, I deserve that.
We got a couple more. I'm having to consult my attorney to see what it says.
Okay.
She asked me, and I told her I'd have to consult my attorney.
Okay, never mind. Okay, so I have one case. Driving on suspended driver's license. 2006. And this is what we're discussing. It's from another state.
It's harder for us to determine exactly what it means, but it looks like they charged them with a felony
Yeah.
for driving a suspended license and put them in jail for 30 days with 6 months probation. But we don't have anything else in background check or
Yeah,
court documents.
we don't have anything else on that, but it's driving on suspended. She did serve jail time and they have it marked as a felony, which is.
It doesn't add up.
Doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Then in 2011, she had one hot check that she pled no contest to. They withheld their judgment on that, and she took care of that and paid all that restitution.
What does it mean to withhold judgment?
Well, they on the hot check, they'll leave it open for you to pay all of it off, and if you do, they'll drop the charge.
They never find you. They never have a finding on the case. It's basically go get this taken care of and show us that you have, and we basically walk away from the case instead of you getting convicted. It didn't show.
I mean, I can dig around and figure out why they charged her with the felony, but
Did the background check show that or just the paperwork she sent?
background
That's what I
check.
thought.
And the background check shows it's a felony.
Like you could say on that one, if we can get proof that there is nothing else, then it's approvable at that point.
Yeah, I
I
would
think
say
it'd be the best one
that.
yet.
I'd be happy to say that.
Okay.
Okay, motion.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any nays?
And I think I have one more that we could probably do. 1995 hot check. And then in 2011, she was charged with theft of leased property. She had rented some furniture. And then she filed bankruptcy. Then she pulled the bankruptcy back and didn't get any payments to the furniture store, and they pressed charges on her. And that was, let's see. Then after restitution was made and paid in full, they dropped the charges, no cross the charges. So it's that plus the hot check, but she did not disclose any of that on her application.
Wait a minute. The one from which one?
Ashley's got good news for her.
We'll have to look for parking space.
But since it was no fraud, that might explain why she didn't disclose it, even though the question asked. And that was 2011 was the latest date.
Pay the payment.
It goes back to 2011.
Yes. The second, Dr. Jolly.
Second. Yes.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? The motion passes.
So on the phone is the last one we had set for the, schedule today, Tona Burns. She didn't realize that her kids got out of school early today and she just found someone to babysit and she can be on her way.
He did disclose.
Yeah, but she disclosed and she has one arrest from 2018. That was a battery in the 3rd degree. Then the charge was later dropped. And I can tell her to get in the car and come over here, but I thought maybe since we were,
We can take care of this now.
okay.
Yeah, I think since the charge was dropped, I would be okay with making a motion to, yeah.
No, this one was battery in the 3rd degree.
Well, wait a minute. Burns, I think you're looking at the wrong case.
No, I am looking at the wrong case. I'm looking at the wrong.
Burns was
No,
it was
That's the
two
property
thousand nine.
shoplifting. Yeah, theft of property shoplifting from Walmart.
He told us it was gonna come up, gave an explanation.
Read that other one.
And her mom gave her money. Oh, well, she was with the bed influence. Yeah. Peer pressure.
So I can tell her to come up here if y'all want to talk to her.
Huh? Can we just do it?
Yeah, I
Right,
made a
just,
motion. It still
yes,
stands.
Yeah. Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Yeah, since our kids got out of school early, I was in the point. I think that's kind of babysit right here, but
it was gonna be wait for the babysitter.
Yeah, she's gonna be here for 5 minutes.
you just take care of it just like that. Carol, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
So everybody made contact today. Unusual, yeah.
That is a record. Well, one technically didn't make contact, right?
Yeah.
The one from 9:30.
That's really good.
That's a higher percentage than I remember seeing earlier on during my appointment. I would just see like maybe 50%.
So we have changed our procedures some to where, like, if they say, yes, I want to participate, then we send them a letter and say, if you don't, if we don't hear from you, we're not going to schedule you. Where before they say we want to participate, and we go, okay, it's on this day at this time. So it's a 2-step instead of a 1-step. Now it's, okay, you say you want to come. And I think that one had said they want to come, but they didn't verify the time, which is probably why we got a no-show.
Do we have more?
She's going through, see if we got any more. Not sure we have anything. But we just took care of 5. 6. And some of them we saw, it was like, this is more recent, or this is a bigger deal, or. Something squealing on us. You hear it in yours every once in a while?
I can hear it.
Yeah.
A high pitched sound.
I mean, it makes me think there's like somebody on the other side of that wall with a hearing aid that's interfering or something. Okay.
You know, a stat that I wonder about, but that would be very hard to pull.
What's that?
Number of waivers granted for applicants and the number that subsequently have a suspension
No,
or
I mean,
or a revocation.
I think that when we go forth and look at people are having to do suspensions on stuff, the given, there's 10,000 technicians and 7,000 pharmacists. So whenever we do see one that we have a further issue with, and it's like, look, they've already appeared before the board before. I mean, it's noteworthy to us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Dr. McCready can probably give you an idea of like, oh, last year there were 2 or something.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, I mean, you could do this 4 times a year and you go, it's 60 people, it's 60 out of 10,000. So it's not a big number, but because it's such a minuscule part of the overall population, anytime it happens to us on the staff side, it's like, well, that's a big deal. So that's all we got.
That's it.
We're getting a form for president to sign for authorization to conduct oversight activities. Other than that, we're done. You ready to adjourn?
Just about moved.
Okay. Where's my second? Motion is second. All in favor, say aye. All right.